Okay, so we want to check our solution. So we have the square root of the opposite of negative 9, and then plus 2. We want to see if that's equal to 5. So that will be square root of positive 9 plus 2 equals 5. And this will give us 3 plus 2. And so yes, we get 5 equals 5. So we know m is equal to negative 9. All right, next one, h. So I see that we have variables on both sides, but the square root is isolated. So the first thing we're going to do, square both sides. So I have x squared. Now on the right side, I'm just going to end up with x plus 20. Now this is a quadratic, and this is going to bring us back to what we did back in chapter 8, where we need to solve, we're going to look to factor. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to subtract x and subtract 20 from both sides. And I'm going to make this x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to try to factor this. And if it doesn't factor, then we have to use what we did in the last chapter, quadratic formula. So let's see if it's factors. I think of two numbers that multiply together to give us negative 20. When we combine them, we get negative 1, and that will be negative 5 and plus 4. So I get x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 4 equals 0. I get x equals 5. And I get x equals negative 4. Now this is kind of a pain because I actually have to check both answers. So let's check 5 first. So I have 5. Does that equal the square root of 5 plus 20? Yep, because I get square root of 25, which is 5. So I know x equals 5 is one of my solutions. Now let's try if I plug in negative 4. So negative 4, does that equal negative 4 plus 20? So negative 4, here this is going to be square root of 16, but my problem is that I get a positive 4 on the right side. They are not equal, therefore x equals negative 4 cannot be part of my solution. Sometimes one answer works, sometimes both answers work, sometimes nothing works. So we do have to check. That's the most important part in this lesson. Okay, square root of x plus 2 equals x minus 4. We're going to square both sides. So I get x plus 2. Now on the right side, that's a binomial. So that means I have to use FOIL to multiply it out. So multiply the first, I get x squared. The outside minus 4x, the inside minus 4x, and the last is a plus 16. Okay, so again, I have x squared. I need to get everything on the same side, but first what I'll do, I will combine like terms, and then let's subtract x and subtract 2 from both sides. So I get 0 equals x squared minus 9x plus 14. So now I'm going to think of two numbers that multiply together to give us a positive 14, add up to negative 9. So that's going to be negative 7 and negative 2. So I know x minus 7 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. And x equals 2. I'm going to have to check the answers. So let's check since I have room down here. Okay, so let's check 7 first. So I have the square root of 7 plus 2. Does that equal 7 minus 4? So here I get square root of 9. On the right side I get 3. 3 equals 3. So yes, x equals 7 works. Now let's check 2. So I'm plugging in 2 for x. So the square root of 2 plus 2. Does that equal 2 minus 4? So here I get square root of 4. On the right side I get negative 2, but 2 is not equal to negative 2, so therefore x equals 2 is not a solution. Okay, J. We're going to square both sides. I get 2x plus 3 equals x squared. I want to move everything to the same side. I'll move it to the x squared. So I'm going to subtract 2x, and I'm going to subtract 3. So I get 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. So I want to think two numbers that multiply together to give us 3, combine to give us negative 2. So it's going to be a minus 3 and a plus 1. So x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. So I get x equals 3, and I get x equals negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to check. So let's plug in x equals 3 first. So I have square root of 2 times 3 plus 3. Does that equal 3? Well, this will give us 6 plus 3. So that's square root of 9. So x equals 3 works. And now let's check for negative 1. So I'll have 2 times negative 1 plus 3. Can that equal negative 1? So this will be negative 2 plus 3. So that'll be square root of 1, which gives us a positive 1. That does not work. So x equals negative 1 is no solution. It does not give us a solution.